Hello everyone, this is Andy from the Pixel Pub, and I'm here with the gaming haul for May of 2024. Okay, so this is a lot of stuff. It's been, the one in March, Kathy's birthday's been passed. My birthday just passed 2 days ago as I'm recording this. And I got a lot of stuff. And I've encountered a lot of very cheap prices going around different places that I like to explore. So I've picked up a lot of stuff for $5, $10, $15 that I just couldn't pass up on. And on top of all that, this is not even everything that we've gotten in the past few months. I have got a separate video that I'm going to record after this that is all the stuff from when we went to a limited run warehouse sale, where they were at the warehouse, just had tents set up, and they were just selling everything they could for just crazy prices that we just couldn't pass up. So I'm going to do that separately. This is all the stuff that we've gotten not at that limited run warehouse sale. So let's start off with the kind of video game adjacent stuff. Let's go. Okay, first off, I got this Terry Bogard amiibo from Hidden Block Games in this not too far away from us. It is an amiibo I've been looking for a while there. I was really going after all the third-party characters, the non-Nintendo characters that had amiibos made of them, but I kind of fell off. I saw this Terry Bogard for $15. Decided to pick it up. If you could beat Terry Bogard, beat Terry Bogard. He's my favorite character from the Fatal Fury series. Maybe my second favorite character in the King of Fighters series. I'm thinking about opening them up because the box has got some obvious issues there. And I don't have a lot of room on my amiibo shelf for another boxed one. I kind of just mostly kept some of the Zelda ones in the box, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to figure that out later. Okay, now we got some vinyls. This first one, it was a gift from my buddy Chris for my birthday. It is a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate original soundtrack, the Castlevania collection. So it's the songs that are featured in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from the Castlevania series. That's exactly what it says. Got such hits as Vampire Killer, Divine Bloodlines, Bloody Tears, Dance of Gold, Lost Painting. Some nice Symphony of the Night representation there. It's got nice old Richter and Simon on the front there in the Smash Bros. Art. I haven't given it a listen to yet. You'll see why in the next video, but yeah, super excited to have this. I love the Castlevania music. This will be my fourth Castlevania vinyl. I want them all. Still got to get the first one and the second one, but this will cover me for that until then with some songs from those games. So yeah. Okay, next is the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game soundtrack on vinyl. A game that is hard as shit, and honestly, I don't think it's all that great, but I do love the music. Limited run, and a few other places were putting these out. Limited run for the past, I guess, a little over a year now, or maybe a year. They've had one per month, and I picked up maybe about half of them, but starting with this one, I did just get the basic one. It's the black vinyl. It's not the green ooze one that they offered up, but because this wasn't my favorite Turtles game, and not my favorite soundtrack either, but I do love some of the music on here, and I don't know, I just love that art on the front too, even though it's not my Turtles. I want them to have the right colored bandanas, but you know what, it still looks really cool. Okay, you know what's even cooler than that? It is Turtles 2, the arcade game soundtrack on vinyl. This is the special one with the green vinyl. I had to go all out for this one. I freaking love this game. I love the soundtrack. The NES version specifically, it comes with both. It has the arcade version and the NES version. I adore the NES version because that's the one I played the most. And it has some extra stages with some extra music that I think is really good. The stage in New York when it's snowing, I think is the best song in the game, and it's not in the arcade version. So I'm glad it has both of them up there, and it's got the cover's kind of all hollowed out like a rare card or something. Yeah, I love that art. Love this game. Man, I'm so glad that I have it. It's be my third or fourth Turtles vinyl. Got some more on the way. I didn't pick up every single one. I didn't get into Game Boy ones, but yeah, they'll be coming, I guess, later this year. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get into some games here. I got a whole lot of different systems to pick from. So let's just start out with the NES games. How about that? Ran into a bunch of these at the local Trade It, which is, a pawn shop, a fancier pawn shop, I guess. Not really, but saw a bunch of these. They were probably about $10 a piece, maybe. NES games that I didn't already have and been wanting for a while. First up is Abadox, which is a fun little shooter with I don't know, got that dude with the eyes on the cover. Like it looks kind of more disturbing in the game with the sprites and everything. It's interesting game put out by Milton Bradley here in America. I think that's funny. The board game people putting out an NES game. Another game I could think of they put out was Marble Madness. But yeah, Abadox is cool. Yeah, had to add it to the library. Next up is Joust, an arcade classic from was it Midway? I believe it was Midway. Here says HAL developed it. Probably, maybe. I mean, sure, it's on the thing. But yeah, Joust is pretty cool. You ride around as ostriches, as they're knights, and you're running around with your lance, and you have to kind of land on top of other ostriches knights to take them out, and you get eggs, and there's a pterodactyl, and it's a pretty simple little arcade game, but a whole lot of fun. I didn't really know there was an NES version until I saw it on the shelf, and it was, like I said, all these games are pretty cheap. Had to pick it up. Okay, next up is another classic arcade game on the NES. That's Millipede. Says it right here on the back. It was only $7. Just another one of those games that added to the library. I've been neglecting the NES collection for, it feels like a very long time now, and it felt right to see all these games at the same time and pick them up and keep building the library. Collectors, that's what we do. Okay, next up is a Taito shooter called Sky Shark, and it is a game that I have seen in the past, and it does have some very memorable art with that fucking guy. Like, he's really intense. Something's happening in his plane. Nobody ever said it would be easy. That's what it says on the cover, and you know what? They're right. It's not a very easy game. I only played it a little bit, but it is a cool little shooter by Taito. Taito made a lot of cool games back in the day. It's just another one of them, and it's something that I didn't really pull the trigger on until I had a handful of NES games in my hand. I was just like, well, let me grab that one too. Let's go. Okay, next up is something that I didn't get at the Trade It. I actually got at Playthrough Games. I believe, was it March? I believe is when it was. It is 8 Eyes by Taxan. Yes, Taxan. This is a game that I've been on the lookout for a while because it is a well-known Castlevania clone, and I've never played it. It's one of those games that, everyone has their big folder full of all the ROMs, all the NES games, all this other stuff, but some games I just want to play when I can find them, when I can, hook it up on the NES and play it on the old CRT and with the old controller, and that's how I want to experience, and that's how I played this. It's pretty cool. Not as good as Castlevania. There's a reason why Castlevania became as popular as it was, and 8 Eyes kind of, it is what it is, but it's still well-made, fun little clone. Yeah, 8 Eyes, check it out. Okay, next we got some PlayStation games. First one is Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, which is one of those games. I've been talking about it in videos in the past of buying PlayStation games. I want to get all the games that I played demos of on various demo discs back in the day. The jam packs, the PlayStation magazines, all those demo discs that I would get. And something like Matt Hoffman's would have one level and I'd mess around with it. Hey, I wouldn't want to go out and buy the game right then. But if I can get it for $10, I'll get it. And it's actually for getting at the pawn shop, it's in very good shape. The disc itself is actually in my PS2 right now. Messed around with it. Actually went back and forth with Trade It, which has a 24-hour return policy for like media like this. If it doesn't work, you can take it back for an exchange. And I don't even remember what I got initially, but it took me like 3 trips to finally get a game that worked, and Matt Hoffman was one of them. And it's a good time. Was it made by the same people who made Tony Hawk? It says Neversoft on the back. Engine by. It's made by Runecraft. So not made by the Tony Hawk people, but they were supporting them. They were like, hey, good job. Get that BMX bike spinning around the air. All right, next is another game that I picked up at Playthrough. It is Roll Cage Stage 2. And I had the first Roll Cage. I still have my original that I had back in the day. I had never played Roll Cage Stage 2. If you had asked me a few months ago, did they make a sequel to Roll Cage? I'd be like, no, I didn't know. But yeah, Roll Cage is pretty damn cool. You play as a car that's kind of flat, but your tires are huge. So you can like flip over, but still be racing. And you can like ride on the sides of walls and ceilings and stuff like that if you have enough momentum. And it's got weapons like Mario Kart. And yeah, this is super cool PlayStation game. It wasn't until we were in the car on the way back that I realized that it had a bunch of scuffs on it. It's got a crack on the front, a big crack on the back, and it's got the dreaded broken, case thing where it just comes apart. But it's got that fun bright orange disc. Very much 1990 style, or 1999 style, I should say. But yeah, that's Roll Cage Stage 2. Yeah, fun little racing game. Next up, I'll do the Genesis games that I picked up recently. First off is Aladdin on the Sega Genesis. This is the cardboard box version of it. If you watched our video where we did go to Limited Run Games and a few other stores, out on the game hunt, you did see me, or Shelby finding this and showing it to me. It was only 15 bucks. It's not in the best shape, obviously, but you can't really, to find one that's not going to be kind of jacked up like this is going to be hard, I would imagine. I already had Aladdin loose. I've got it actually in a stack of games in the dining room that I'm hoping to go off and pawn off of just a bunch of duplicates that I've ended up with over the years. It's time to get rid of them. But yeah, Aladdin on the Sega Genesis was the first Aladdin game I played. I didn't play the Super Nintendo one until after the fact, and I like the Super Nintendo one a whole lot better than this one. This one, I think a lot of people will remember, hey, it's the one where you have a sword, and it's got the Disney cell animation stuff, and it's got the music from the movie. But they forget about the prison level where it's just a big maze, and it's like, it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but I just like the Super Nintendo version better, and I love this art. We did see 2 more Aladdins in the box that same day, but they were the hard version. I probably should have picked up the hard case version because this is not looking great, but when I bought this, I didn't know that the hard case versions were out there. But yeah, I have it now. Super glad to have it. I want more Sega Genesis games in the box, be they cardboard or hard shell. I love my Sega Genesis game. And speaking of loving Sega Genesis games, it's the first Sega Genesis game I ever played, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog. It was a pack-in for my Sega Genesis back in the day. It was long gone for me for years and years, decades. Even saw this at playthrough along with the other games I picked up, and it was like, I don't know, $7 or $8. Like, it was very, very cheap for a box copy of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's got the manual and everything, and it works. Super good time, Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah, super fun game. It defined the Sega Genesis for me for years. I had just about every single Sonic game on the Genesis, and it started right here. And now I have a physical version once again, which I'm very happy about. Okay, next we got the lone PSP game. Our burgeoning PSP collection keeps growing every video, it seems like. And it's Popo LaCroix, if I'm pronouncing that right. This game was at the Trade It for fairly cheap. It looks like an RPG. The back boasts it's over 30 hours long. That sounds like a classic story. Sure, this was something Kathy wanted to pick up. Actually, it's not in the PSP right now. A UMD copy of Spider-Man 2's in there. Great. Oh, wait, that's the game. Is it the game? It's the game. I thought it was a movie. It's the game. Sweet. I think that came with our PSP when I bought it off eBay. It was just sitting in the tray. But, yeah, I see why she got it. When you see weird stuff like this for old systems that looks like, an RPG that no one really talks about, it's like, well, I feel like you kind of have to get it because it's like, what if it's super cool? What if it's something you fall in love with that you had no idea even existed prior to that? But yeah, definitely wanting to grow out the PSP collection. This is game number 4. It's awesome. Okay, hope the shot's okay because my camera just fell completely off the stand. Luckily, it landed on the couch, so everything's okay. I was about to say, Xbox 360 games are next. I've been on the Xbox 360 kick for the past, 6 or 7 months now. Just been buying up a lot of racing games specifically. But not all racing games this time. First off, we got Two Worlds, which is a open world RPG. Not that good, I don't think. I still haven't tried it out. I don't even know if this copy works. It's one of those, like when I was talking about getting Matt Hoppins for BMX. It was just, I needed something to get with my exchange at Trade It for the other games that didn't work, and this was one of them. Got home and my Xbox 360 tray was not open. I cannot put disc in it right now. This is not the first time this happened. I've been able to fix it in the past. I just know I need a paper clip, but I can't remember exactly how to do it, and I just haven't had the time to look up a YouTube video and monkey around with it. But I picked this up because I do have Two Worlds 2, the sequel, which is not that good either. And I was like, well, might as well complete the series of just weird games. And every so often I do get the itch to just want to play something just weird and just something that feels a little bit off, like it came from another universe, like an alternate universe where games are different. Where this took over the world instead of like Skyrim or The Witcher. Two Worlds was the big one. I don't know, but I have it now. It's like $5. Why not? Just buy it, get it over with. Okay, next up is Dead or Alive 4. They had a lot of Dead or Alive games at the Trade It. This is the one I picked up because a lot of their Xbox 360 cases are not in the best shape. This one isn't the best. It's got some spots or something up here. That's kind of gross. But I did clean it off as best I could. Dead or Alive 4. Very fun fighting game. I messed around with it a lot on the 360 when I got it, right before my tray malfunction there that I described. I still think 2 is my favorite because it's the one I played the most of on the Dreamcast. But this one, like, even now, still looks incredible, just like the art style that they picked and all the vibrant colors and stuff like that for the backgrounds. It's just, I mean, that Ninja team know what they're doing. Yeah, there was Dead or Alive 5 was there as well, but the case is all kind of jacked up. And that's the one that looks kind of different. That's when they changed the art style for the characters. Okay, next up is a racing game that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And I don't think even people remember that the Need for Speed franchise did this during the Xbox 360 era. That is Shift 2 Unleashed. Need for Speed's at the bottom, but it is a Need for Speed game. It is a sequel to Need for Speed Shift, where they just tried to make it more sim-like, more like a Gran Turismo, more like a Forza. I got this game off eBay for like $6 or $7. I specifically wanted it because I wanted to try it out, mess around with that. I do like the Forza series on that specific console. But I really got it because I'm a big fan of the website Giant Bomb. I have been for over 10 years now. And they did do a quick look of Shift 2 that I just remember was fairly long, like it was maybe like an hour long, 45 minutes, something like that. And it was one of the videos that I would just put on the TV and just fall asleep to. And it had this song in the game. I can still hear it in my head right now. It's very simple, but I just want to hear that song. And that fucking video has been scrubbed for the internet. It's not on the website. It's not on the YouTube. I cannot find it. Just so I can hear that music again. So I was like, oh, buy the game. Since I'm on this 360 kick, let me buy the game, see if I can find the song. I haven't heard it. I've done like 3 or 4 races. I haven't heard it once. So I'm not sure about that. Maybe I was thinking of the first Shift, which I don't have. Almost grabbed it at Trade It because it is there. But anyway, that's Shift 2. It's okay. It's kind of mediocre. Okay. Now, if you want a racing game that is not mediocre, Burnout Paradise. What a fun game. We have Burnout Revenge now on the 360, and I really like that, but this is the only Burnout game I have ever really played a lot of. I bought it digitally on the PS3. It was one of those first games on the PS3 and the 360 generation that was just like, hey, here's a full-ass retail game you could buy digitally. And I was like, oh, hey, let me try that out. I've never done that. And I did, and had a lot of fun with it. And then, years and years later, they put out the remastered on the PS4 and Xbox One. I got it digitally there as well. It was like $5 on PSN, and I bought it and played around with it. So I'd never actually owned Burnout Paradise physically, and now I do. I have the 360 version, which I think is a whole lot of fun. It's just a very fucking great racing game. Criterion knew what they were doing. I don't know if it's my favorite Criterion racing game. I know that's probably fucking blasphemous. I really like the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on the 360. I played a ton of that. But yeah, it's just a fucking great game. Great game. Burnout Paradise. Check it out. Okay, next is another racing game from Codemasters. It's Grid 2. Now this is more of the sim style, Forza Gran Turismo. I don't think it's same thing with Shift. It's not as like, fancy car magazine looking as like Gran Turismo, and I just don't think those games are very fun. But something more strikes a balance of like a Forza. But I played a little bit of this. It's just I don't know. I got it cheap off eBay. I was just looking for weird stuff that I haven't played before, and I don't remember a damn thing about it. I played probably an hour or two just messing around, and God, it's all completely gone. Does this game exist? Okay, next, the last Xbox 360 game is Need for Speed Most Wanted, a Criterion game. It's not the Most Wanted that first came out on the 360, which is more like street racing, rims, neon lights, all that stuff. This is more in the vein of Burnout Paradise. Not as good as Burnout Paradise. I actually played a lot of this game on the Vita. It was one of the PS Plus games that was available that I downloaded and had a good time with. And I won it on 360. They had it at Trade It for like 15 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that. But the case was just absolutely jacked up. I can't deal. And I actually found a brand new copy on eBay for like $20. And I was like, I can get a brand new fucking 360 game. I'll do that. And after I bought it, I checked it out on Steam to see how much it was, and it was on sale for $2. So I bought that version too. So I'm probably just gonna keep this one in the shrink wraps to see, just for funsies, because I could play a better version on Steam, obviously. And yeah, it's a fun little game. Not as good as the Hot Pursuit they made, but still pretty good. Okay, next up we got PS5 and PS4 games. Got a lot of variety here, so let's go. First up is Gal Guardians Demon Purge. This is actually a game that I saw at GameStop, and I thought it looked interesting. It definitely gave me Symphony of the Night vibes. So I'm looking at screenshots on the back. I looked at the trailer. Seemed like a fun little Metroidvania. I'm not sure if it's a Metroidvania yet. I just want to play it and figure it out for myself, but it definitely has Castlevania vibes. It's like you play as two different girls. One has a sword that can attack melee-wise, and one has a gun and missiles and all this other stuff to attack range-wise. And yeah, I don't know, I thought it looked super cool. I put it on, slapped it on my Amazon wish list, and my mom picked it up for me for my birthday, and she thought it was for Kathy because it has Gal in the name, and I guess she was like, well, this is Gal, it's for girls, right? And it's like, I don't think that's the case, but I haven't played it yet. I am knee-deep in other stuff that I'll talk about here in a minute, but yeah, Gal Guardians, hoping to give it a try soon. Speaking of stuff I'm knee-deep in right now, you got Trails of Cold Steel, the European version. We have all the other ones, the Cold Steel 2, 3, and 4, and Revia. Can't pronounce that word, but we're missing this one because I bought this initially digitally on the Vita for Kathy to play. It was before we were like, we gotta get physical everything. And the US version is very expensive. So the European version, like $25. So I picked it up and I started playing it. I am about 30 hours in. I want to play through all of them, and I'm going to, but you got to start somewhere. I know there's the Legend of Heroes series, and there's some before this. I have Trails in the Sky on Steam, but I have to start somewhere. I have to start somewhere, and I'm going to start with this one. And it's good so far. I don't know, it seems like there was a lot of just kind of nothing happening at the beginning, but now, like, about 20 hours in, something happens. Hey, now there's a story. Let's go. But yeah, I'm having a good time with it. The combat system's pretty fun. I love Falcom games. I love East specifically. This is my first time playing one of their turn-based RPGs. But I'm having a good time. I can't wait to start Trails of Cold Steel 3, because that's the first one that that's the first one I believe this wasn't made for the Vita, and it might look graphically a little bit better than this, because this is very simple stuff. But yes, I've heard that it has an incredible story, very long, very overarching, like all the games are interconnected, and I cannot wait to dig deeper into that. Okay, next up is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. Now, This game I picked up for $5 at Walmart. Now, there's a bunch of games I saw for $5, $10, $15 at Walmart that I just bought sight on seeing. I remember playing, I know this is a remake of Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation, and I think they might add tracks from another one, Crash Nitro Kart. I never played that, but I did rent Crash Team Racing back in the day and had a good time with it. Never owned it, but now it is $5. Like, can't pass that up, and it's a whole lot of fun. I've started messing around with the adventure mode, which is like Diddy Kong Racing, where you drive around on a little map and unlock races and you race bosses and stuff like that. But yeah, $5, you can't leave that behind. All right, here's another game that I found for $5, and it's a game that I was waiting on because I don't think people like it that much. But you can tell I'm an AEW fan. I like wrestling. I like AEW specifically. I got AEW Fight Forever on the PlayStation 4. I did see the PlayStation 5 version later, but luckily there was a free upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version. I'm not sure what the difference is because it's still like not a graphical powerhouse of a game. I messed around with it a little bit. William Regal was telling me how to do stuff, and I was like, "You're not in that company anymore." There's a lot of people not in this company anymore that are featured in this game, but yeah, I had to mess around with it. Had to play it eventually, and I don't think I'm going to find it brand new cheaper than $5. So shout out to Walmart, $5. All right, next was a game that Kathy got for her birthday from my family. It was on her wish list. She did not remember it was on her wish list. I imagine it's something she read about, people really liking, and she wanted to get it. That's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I have only scratched the surface on the Yakuza games. I played Yakuza 0 a little bit, not a ton. It seems like they're games that are right up my alley. I would fucking love, but for some reason it's not grabbing me. It's not grabbing me like I want it to. And when they announced that, Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon would be turn-based battle system, I was really turned off. Like, I like turn-based battles just fine, but to have them in like a modern setting, like a realistic world and stuff like, I don't know, it's two things in my brain that just don't connect. And I was like, I don't like that. And I haven't messed around with it, and people seem to really like the sequel, Infinite Wealth, and I was on Kathy's wish list, so she got it, and she was like, are you sure you didn't have that on your wish list? I was like, nope. But now that we have it, I guess I can give it a try, see what people love about it. Maybe I'll fall in love with it too. I'm not here to pass judgment on it like that. I'll give it a shot since it's here. Let's go. Okay, last up we got the Switch games, which is the most games. I don't know, maybe about 10 or 12 there. So starting out with RZ, the Jewel of Faramore, which I believe was published by Limited Run Games. I did order this off their website a long time ago. It came in, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it is, if you don't know about Jewel of Faramore, it is a complete homage to those fucking nasty-ass Zelda CDI games. Even the developer of the game is called CDI Software. It's like CD, then I, like an eyeball. It looks ridiculous. The artwork's ridiculous. The animation, like, it looks just like those old Zelda games. And from what I've heard, it's actually pretty good. They took that game style and art style and all that other stuff and made a fun game. So I had to pick it up, see what it's like. Still haven't opened it yet. Like I said, knee deep in the Trails games right now on the PS4. I got a Switch game that I'm playing right now that we'll get to soon, I think. But yeah, RZ, Jewel of Faramore. Can't wait to give it a try. All right, next up is some more Walmart pricing fun. This Paper Mario and the Origami King. This was actually $25 on clearance, or $20. Yeah, it's $20. I was all set to get this game when it came out. I was like, man, they're going back to more of a traditional style RPG system that they've kind of strayed from in the 3DS and Wii U versions. I didn't play them, but I just didn't like what I saw. But then I saw the boss battles for this game. I was like, what the fuck? And my brain just broke, and I was like, you know what? I lost all interest. But to get a Paper Mario game on clearance for $20, I was like, I'll give it a shot then. And I'm fully ready for that Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door remake. This comes out in a handful of days as I'm recording this. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get time to get to this. But like I said, $20, had to give it a shot. All right, next is something that I played a bit of, but Kathy's played a lot of. She actually kind of fell in love with the game, and that's Cruisin' Blast. Now, I'd heard about this game. I heard people liked it, you know, and I thought it was kind of in like an ironic way. But I actually played it at a barcade called Boxcar in Raleigh, North Carolina. The big sit-down version, and with the racing wheel and all that stuff. And I was playing the track in London, where a big Ferris wheel comes off its hinges, and it destroys the city, and you're racing along with it, and you race on top of a bus or a train or whatever. I'm like, man, that's a whole lot of fun. I know there's a Switch version. Let me see if I can find it. And lo and behold, at one of the Walmarts that I check out, it was there for $20, which wasn't some clearance or special price or anything. It was just with the rest of the $20 Switch games, and I grabbed it. And Kathy's been having a good time with it. She's unlocked the unicorn and the triceratops and all the other stuff that you can race as, continuing the cruising philosophy of having fun things to race as. You know, going back to the old days where you can race as a school bus. That was the fun thing about that game. So you be a school bus. I'm 11. That's cool. But yeah, it's a great little racing game. The only problem I have with it is outside of like an arcade, it's kind of weird because some of the races last like 50 seconds. Like you're done and you're so fast, like under a minute. But some of them are like a minute and a half. And yeah, I raced through all the races. Got my fill right there, but it's always something I can go back to. But yeah, Kathy really likes it, and I think it's a good time too. Okay, next is the Switch game I've been playing a lot of. It's what I've been playing in bed right before I go to sleep every night, and that is Unicorn Overlord. And this is another Walmart getting weird with prices. This game is not that old. It was already $30 at Walmart. So I picked it up, started playing it immediately, and I'm having a great time with it. I'm not a real-time strategy person in the least. My brain doesn't work that way for games like that. I have the StarCraft remaster on PC, and I couldn't even beat the tutorial or whatever. There was like some third mission or whatever where you had to beat it in 5 minutes or whatever. And it's nowhere close. I don't have a technical brain, but this really does it for me. I love the Vanillaware art. I love the music, and it's just a really good time. But my only problem with it is I'm worried, because some of these battles take like an hour or more. Like when it starts getting harder and I start to lose those battles, am I going to keep up with it? Hopefully I will. I'm about 25 hours in. It says I've explored about 50% of the map, so I'm hoping that means I'm about 50% through the game. But yeah, I'm having a great time with it so far. But yeah, Unicorn Overlord, check it out. Okay, next is a game that Kathy picked up from the limited run game store. We went for her birthday about a month ago now. And that is This Way Madness Lies. It is a Savoy Games game, which is, they make a lot of RPGs. It seems like they churn them out really quickly, but they're fairly short, fairly fun. They made like the Cthulhu Saves Christmas and Cthulhu Saves the World, and the Breath of Death 7. They made that Cosmic Heroine game. I played a good chunk of on the PS4 that I really liked. I didn't even know they made this. Kathy got it and started playing it on the TV, and I was like, that looks like one of those Savoy games. And I grabbed the case and looked it back. Sure enough. And this game seems to mix a turn-based RPG with Sailor Moon with Shakespeare. I don't know. She seems to be having a good time with it. It seems like it's fairly short, like 7 or 8 hours. I think she's already more than halfway through it. And yeah, Shakespeare and Magical Girls says it right there on the back. This Way Madness Lies. Okay, this is another Kathy pickup. She picked it up off Amazon. We were seeing it at our local GameStop, and she was like, "Man, we need to get that." And I was like, "Well, let's check around for prices, because GameStop not always the best prices." Amazon, however, had it for like $25. That is dead sales. Return to Castlevania. It's got Return to Castlevania, and it's got all the other DLC that came with Dead Cells. So it's basically a complete edition, as far as I know. Dead Cells was a game that I downloaded digitally on PS4, and I really liked, but I was really bad at it. But Kathy took to it like a duck in water. Like, she's gotten to the final boss multiple times. I don't think she's ever beat it, but we don't have a physical version. She wanted a physical version, and it's got all the DLC. She's already messed around with it, seen some of the Castlevania stuff. I wasn't in the room, so I didn't see it. And I actually bought the DLC on the PS4 version, and I messed around with that a little bit. And you see like Richter and Alucard and stuff like that. And it's got some of the music from Castlevania. It's just a fun time. Dead Cells is great, and if you can still get it on Amazon for $25, I'd say go for it. Okay, this is another Kathy pickup from Limited Run Games when we went to the store. And it's Save Me Mr. Taco. Taco? the definitive edition. It is a Game Boy-esque looking game, where it's side scroller, where you play as a little octopus and you like fight things. I don't know. I've actually played it more than she has. I'm in the second world. It kind of reminds me of like original Kirby, like Kirby. Well, not original Kirby, but Kirby's Adventure on the NES, because of the way the world's set up, where you just go through these doors and now you're in a level and you come back to that same little area, go and it unlocks another door. But yes, it's a fun little game. I didn't know a damn thing about it until she bought it, but it does have a striking cover. It does catch your attention, and it's neat. I like it a lot. Okay, next is more Walmart fun price stuff for $5. Got Harvest Moon Light of Hope Complete. I've heard this game is complete dog shit. Everything, after I bought it, everything I read was like, man, that game's horrible. It was $5. I was at the store, and I had a handful of other games. I was like, and why not? It can't be that bad for $5. It's got to be worth a little laugh to see how bad it is, right? But I haven't given it a shot yet. But it has all the DLC, is what it says. All the DLC in all caps. 4 new marriage candidates, decorations, outfits, requests, and more. We'll see if it's worth $5. Maybe sometime soon. All right, next. On the flip side of that, another $5 game from Walmart on the Switch. Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. Now, this is as far as my understanding of the Harvest Moon Story of Seasons connection there, this is the Harvest Moon people. This is a different company. Natsume is still putting it out, but it's a different. These are the good ones, is what I'm to understand. But yeah, $5. I found this the day after I saw that one at a different Walmart. I was like, well, shit, fuck it. Let's go all in on the farming games for $5. Why not? But yeah, that Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. I don't know if it has DLC with it or not, or if there's any DLC available for the game. I will say this, looking at the back of it, it looks a hell of a lot better than Harvest Moon. Hopefully it is a whole lot better. It's got a cute little dog and a fucking sad turtle in the front. Okay, next up is the game I picked out when I went to Limited Run Games, the store, for Kathy's birthday, and that is Oceanhorn 2: Knights of the Lost Realm. I have not played the first Oceanhorn. I've seen a lot of it. Like it was very much one of those indie games when it came out. They're like, man, they made a Zelda game. It's a fun little Zelda game. They've taken it up to the next level. It's actually, they brought the camera down behind the back. This is like a bit more mature looking art style, I guess. That's how you describe it. But yeah, it's kind of the only game that really caught my attention there while we were there. I was kind of disappointed. I wanted something, I wanted to find some more Metroidvanias of stuff I haven't played. I was like, well, it's a Zelda game. I love Zelda games. Well, I mean, this is a Zelda game, Zelda-esque. So might as well give it a shot. And so I am, eventually. So, I mean, got a lot to play. Okay, last game was a game I got Kathy for her birthday, and it was another one of those things where Walmart just dropped the price for no other reason, I guess, and that was Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. I think this is I was about to say the third Dragon Quest Monsters game, but that's not true at all. There's a bunch of Dragon Quest Monsters game. But this is the one on the Switch. Seemed like people liked it when I looked up reviews. Like, I saw it. I was like, oh, it's $30. I mean, I don't want to spend $30 right now, but okay. And I told Kathy about it. She was like, we should get that. We should get that. And then I looked up some reviews and stuff, and it seemed like people like it just fine. So I went back and picked it up and put it in her birthday stuff. And she hasn't played it yet. She actually, I think she likes collecting Dragon Quest Monsters game and just never touching them, because we have a bunch of them she's barely even played. But she's a huge Dragon Quest fan, so you might as well add it to the collection, right? Okay, recording the gaming haul video, did all of it, wrapped it up, was done, and I realized I forgot to talk about the best stuff that we got. Got a bunch of handhelds. It's the month of the handhelds, is what it is. So, starting off with a gift I got for Kathy for her birthday, and that is a backlit original GBA. It's got I think they call it an IPS screen, so it is insanely bright. I got it off eBay, and what is in it is a Mother 3 translation. She really liked Earthbound. I tried to get her a Mother 3 translated cartridge a few years ago, and the battery inside the cartridge was dead. She couldn't save. So these are not that expensive, and I decided I'll just pick it up again and see what happens. And this one thankfully does work. There was an issue with the batteries not wanting to stay in when we initially got it, but I messaged the guy on eBay, or we did, and we were able to send it back and get it fixed, and it works just fine now. Just came back a few days ago, actually. But yeah, this the backlit GBA, super cool. Okay, next up is something Kathy picked up, which I always thought she would really like, but she never really explored too much interest in it when I would talk about it and show it to her online. She saw it at Hidden Block Games, immediately wanted it. It wasn't that cheap, but it was just a impulse purchase in the moment, and that is an Analog Pocket. If you watched our Final Fantasy trading card open up packs stuff, you would have seen it there. That's the day we got it. I've got Snow Brothers in the pack. You'll find out later if you watch the limited run video why I have Snow Brothers in the back. But yeah, this is the glowing green one. I think it's supposed to glow in the dark. I'm not sure. We messed around with it a little bit, but it is, for anyone who don't know what an Analog Pocket is, it is an FPGA handheld, and it plays out the box. It plays Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games. They do make adapters to play. It's not working right now. Snow Brothers is having issues. I was messing around with it earlier though. But they do make adapters to play other games, other systems like Game Gear, TurboGrafx, I believe, and Atari Lynx, I think, and Neo Geo Pocket Color. I think there's all of them. But right now we just got the base thing. Haven't really invested in too much, and I know you can add ROMs and stuff to it, but yeah, it's an FPGA. I mean, just running kind of more hardware-based emulation than software is my very rudimentary understanding of it. So it is extremely accurate to the system, to real hardware. And Analog's been making these things for a while. They did an NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis, all that stuff. They did the Polymega. They didn't do the Polymega, but they made Analog Pocket, and I thought Kathy would really like it, and she does. It is super cool. I keep hearing about the screen being super nice, and it is. It looks amazing. But yeah, it's a super cool little thing, and it was used. It's still got the box and everything. Works like a charm. I highly recommend Analog Pocket if you like handhelds. Now it's like the Ferrari of handhelds. All right, last but not least, certainly not least, was a gift for me from Kathy. Something that I've been off and on looking at. I was like, I don't know. We'll see, but I think really it was a gift to both of us because it will allow Kathy to play some games that she wanted to play for a long time, but has been felt intimidated by. We got a Steam Deck. We got the OLED version, the 1 terabyte, the highest of high-end models, and yeah, this thing is fucking amazing. Like, you hear people talk about it, that the Steam Deck is like life-changing, and it kind of is. It's fucking wild. The screen is huge. The OLED version looks amazing. The ease of use with all of it, just like Valve is a very successful company for a reason. Because they make shit like this, and it's awesome. She did get kind of a slip up, unfortunately, when I guess she ordered off Amazon just because I just threw it on my Amazon wish list. She didn't order it directly from Valve, and I think it's a European version. It came with a weird ass plug, and I can't charge it with that plug. And unfortunately, I haven't really found anything in the house that will charge it really well. I just got it the other day. Did leave it charged overnight, and the highest it got was like to 80%, from 50 to 80. It went up 30%, like in 12 hours basically. And that's unfortunate, but I have ordered a charger for it, and if that doesn't work, I'm sure we can find some solution. Valve can help me out, hopefully. But yeah, I'm loving this thing already. Even having messed around with it a little bit. I'm gonna dig deep into the emulation side of it with EmuDeck. Gonna download some more Steam games. I think I have like 300 Steam games in my library, and I just wanted to mess around with all of them and yeah, and Kathy wants to play Baldur's Gate, but she didn't want to play it in front of with a mouse and keyboard. It's sitting at a desk. She wants to play it, you know, either handheld like this or on the TV. But yeah, that is super cool. That's like the coolest thing in the house right now is the Steam Deck by far. But yes, those are the handhelds. It's handheld heaven up in this bitch recently. Okay, that's it. That's the games for May of 2024. That was a lot. My voice is kind of going here. But that's not all of them. Like I said, I'm going to do another video just of the stuff that we picked up yesterday at the limited run warehouse sale. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be a wild ride as well. I've been Andy from the Pixel Pub. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, all that stuff. And peace out. Okay, next up, going to talk about some Xbox 360 games here. First up is